right, so where we are is we're on the back of this 2-track. There's a food plot here, and there's big woods this way and big woods this way, and here's the 2-track that dumps in. Here's the 2-track, comes down through here, dumps into this food plot. There's some old logs over here and some other stuff. And we put a dirt hole in right here. As you can see, something dug into the dirt hole. They dug all this stuff out. There's the stick that had the lure on it. My bait's gone, my sheep's wool is gone. They moved the scat all around. They went all over the place, stepped all around, just didn't get caught in my trap. So I don't really see any big tracks, and as you can see, whatever it was up in there pretty far and was digging right here and was stepping all around here and stepping all around here. I'm gonna guess this was the gray fox, just because that's kind of how they are and what they do, and they're kind of dainty and small-footed, and they stepped all over the place, and we didn't catch them. So we're gonna put this back together, and hopefully we're gonna catch whatever comes next. So far this morning, this is basically a line of misses is what we're doing here. We've checked 4 traps, and 2 of the 4 I've had misses. This was the set that we caught a coyote in yesterday. And if you remember, I put this piece of grass back in here, and then I put all this grass and stuff as kind of a debris along the back end, and it was a flat set. And then I put a big piece of scat over here on the left. You can see here's some of the scat that's left. The scat is basically gone. I don't know what happened to it. I don't know if somebody ate it or what happened, but you can see that's all scratched up here. Something's been scratching here. Something's been doing all kinds of stuff over here. The trap, which is in there, is kind of halfway covered up with some of this debris and stuff. So we clearly missed a critter here. So we're going to try to put this back together and see if maybe tomorrow we're going to catch this critter. Okay, so this is the house cat set, and oh boy, this little fox may be injured. I have to check him out and see, but this is the set where the house cat was. The house cat was up in that tree a few days ago when the snow was on the ground, and this morning we got ourselves a little gray fox here. And so we're gonna look at him and see if we can release him and let him go. I'm not sure if we can or can't yet. I have to get in there and look and see if he's done some damage to himself. But it's a good spot. Obviously there's lots of mice and rabbits and stuff in here. So we'll see what we can give this little fox a look, and either we'll release him or we'll harvest him. We'll see what happens. All right, so we let this little gray fox go. His foot was a little bummed up, but as I got looking closer to him, I'm not sure that it was the trap that was causing all the problems. And this may not even be related at all, but as we were driving up this field, so we were driving from way down there by that old barn, there was a big bald eagle that was sitting back here in a tree, kind of in one of these big trees right back up in here. And I didn't really think anything about it. As we got closer, he took off flying. And I remember thinking at the time, we probably don't have any catches, because why would that eagle be sitting back here? But now that I look around here, and if you look close, you'll see there's fur right here, there's fur right there, there's part of his tail right here, there's some more fur right there. There's fur all over the place here, and it's not having to do with his foot or anything. I think he was in a fight here, and I'm not 100% sure it wasn't that eagle trying to get this gray fox. I don't know that I've ever seen that, But clearly I think those eagles are so big and so powerful. I mean, this is a little gray fox, probably 8 pounds, maybe. I don't know. And could that eagle have been coming after this gray fox? Could have been. Or could something else have went by here, like a coyote or something else? I've had coyotes kill gray foxes before at my sets, so I know that happens. I don't know. Interesting. But regardless, other than missing the very back part of his tail, his foot was a little bummed up, but he took off running and seemed to be okay. So, and there was no like major damage to his foot. It was just probably going to be limping around for a couple days and everything. So what we did is we went ahead and just redid this. We drilled the dirt hole back out, threw some of this debris on the back. I just left this gray fox fur laying around all here. I mean, to me, that's just more of an attractant. Put the trap back out in here. There's a little bit of a disturbance where the fox was out here. And so we're going to let this one sit. I put some Hiawatha Valley down in a hole along with some Miranda High Plains Drifter call lure. And that's it. We also have a T-bone right over there. It was messed with pretty significantly yesterday. They dug everything out of the back. They stepped all over everywhere except on the pan. Have no idea if that was a gray fox, no idea if that was a coyote, no idea what that was, but whatever it was sure did get all over everything and just not get on the pan. So we're gonna let these ride and see what happens. So you guys know that I like to continuously put like, you know, a new set in here, new set in there, kind of adding to the line constantly and throwing fresh stuff at the critters. There's a lot to be said for just letting traps sit and soak, especially when it comes to coyotes. Just let them soak, just let them soak, just let them soak. And I do that, but I also like to add fresh sets, especially if I know where there's a lot of animals traveling. So we just caught a gray fox up there at that, up there at the end of this 2-track up there on the end where those trees are. And we caught a house cat up there before, and then we missed something in a T-bone yesterday. And then there's this little cut through right here that goes from field to this field, and there's this old barn here with all this buckbrush and everything growing around it. And then you go down the mountain into the bottom and then up the other side onto the top of the next mountain, and then eventually work your way around and get off this piece of property. Well, the landowner's got a game camera right here in this little cutover. Obviously there's deer running back and forth, and he sees coyotes running back and forth, but he's seen a bobcat running down through here basically every day. And I have a trap on just the other side of this cutover, but clearly that trap is not produced. It's been, I don't know what, 4 days now. It's just sat there. That bobcat just keeps walking right past it. It's a dirt hole. So what I've done is I tried to freshen that set up a little bit. I added just a little bit of feathers down inside the hole just to give them something new to look at. And then over here on this side of the cutover, I put a fresh new set in. This should be good for coyotes, and it should be good for cats. So it's a super big and super flashy dirt hole. So I took the sod, cut the sod all out. I threw it all around the back of this piece of clod. Everything's going to see all this disturbance. There's a significant dirt hole here. I really wallered that thing out. It's like 10, 12 inches deep, and it's like 4 inches around, so it's pretty big. I've got some predator control group gator bait down in the hole, along with some feline fix and some sheep's wool. I'm probably not going to add feathers on this side since I put some feathers on the other side. And then I really dug the sod out in front of this. And as you can see, they've really got to kind of step down in there to really get up to that dirt hole. So they're really going to have to commit to get down in there. There's the sod that's out here in the front, and then there's the hole. And the hole is like the size of like 4 traps. I wanted to make it really big, really open, and make a kind of a big step down. So they really have to commit. So we'll see what this trap does. Don't know if it'll do good. Don't know if it won't do good. But regardless, the critters, you can see I am literally, I don't know, 2 feet off of the 2-track. So that cat that's walking up and down this 2-track is going to walk past it. And then over here, you can see here's another little bit of a 2-track right here along the edge. It goes around this old barn. So whichever way that cat is going, he's going to have to walk right past this set. Same for coyotes as they travel up and down here, and they're pinched into this corner. And this is really the only avenue for them to go. You can see how there's a fence, number one, there, and then number two, you can see how thick it is through there. They're not running through all that brush. They're not going through all that buck brush. They're running right through this open gate. I mean, there's clearly a 2-track and a hole right here. That's where those critters are running. So we have trap on each side of this cut through, and we have one that's been sitting there for 4 days, so it's been soaking. And then we have a brand new one right here. So we'll see how this does. So on today's trapping adventure, I brought Jetta too. She's much more of a resort dog than she is a farm dog like Athena. But she's been whining a lot when Athena and I are going during the morning. And she's always so happy to see us when we get home. So we decided to bring her out today. And she doesn't much care for coyotes. She doesn't much care for coyotes. She doesn't much care for going through the water, as you can clearly see. Athena just likes to jump in, swim around, run around all over. Jetta, a little bit more laid back, a little bit more I don't want to be wet, a little bit more I don't want to be covered in dirt and snow. But she's only got a single coat, not a double coat like Athena. But she's still having a ball. You having fun, Jetta? Athena, of course, is having a ball. But so they're running around. Both really good dogs. Both rescues. Nice, Athena. Nice work there. Jetta, can you do that? Can you jump over the water? Can you do that? How are you going to get back? Huh? Come on, Jetta. Let's go. Come on. She's like, I'm smarter than that. I'm not going to wade through that deep water. I'm going to come back around. I'm going to come back around over to here where it's a lot more shallow. And then I'm going to come across. All right, girls, come on. Let's go. Come on, Jetta. You can make it. Look at her tiptoeing. She's like, I don't really like the water. I don't really like it. It's cold. I'm getting wet. What a resort dog.